Hello, everyone. Time for another round of Bible trivia. Before we begin, I got to tell you a couple of corny jokes. What can I say? Just my thing, I guess. Why did the old woman put roller skates on a rocking chair? Because she wanted to rock and roll. Why do scuba divers fall off backwards off the boat instead of falling forwards? Well, if they fell forwards, they just fall into the boat. All right, let's get to our questions. Going to be 10 trivial Bible trivia questions, 2 bonus questions, as I'm sure you know by now. And the bonus questions are optional, but they're worth 3 points apiece, or you lose 3 points if you miss them. All right, question number 1. On the first day of the Feast of the Unleavened Bread, what did Jesus send 2 of his disciples to do? Gather the people, prepare the Passover, or pray while the others set things up? Luke 22, verse 7 through 8 tells us the answer is to prepare the Passover. Question number 2. Who did Jesus send to prepare the Passover? Was it Peter and John, the local priest, or Matthew and Mark? Luke 22, verse number 8 tells us that it was Peter and John. Number 3. Who did Jesus tell Peter and John to look for when they entered Jerusalem? A man carrying a pitcher of water, the keeper of the temple serving, or the chief priest? Mark 14, verse number 13 tells us that it was, or the answer is, a man carrying a pitcher of water. Number 4, what did the man carrying the water pitcher show Peter and John? His well, the dining hall, or a large upper room? Mark 14, verse 15 tells us the answer is a large upper room. Number 5, what took place in the upper room? Judas betrayed Jesus, the Passover meal, or meeting with the chief priest? Luke 22, verse 15 tells us that the answer is the Passover meal. Okay, here's your bonus question. What celebration was instituted in the upper room? What celebration was instituted in the upper room? Luke 22, verses 19 through 20 tells us that it was communion, or the Lord's Supper. All right, let's move on to our next set of questions. Number 1, Jesus didn't come to abolish the law, but to do what? To give a new law, to explain the law, to fulfill the law. Matthew 5, verse 17 tells us the answer is to fulfill the law. Number 2, what will happen to the one who keeps and teaches the commandments? He will be called great. He will rule nations. He will sit at God's left hand. Matthew 5, verse number 19 tells us the answer is he will be called great. Number 3, Jesus says you shall not enter the kingdom of heaven unless your righteousness surpasses that of whom? Kings and princes, scribes and Pharisees, mothers and fathers. Matthew 5, verse 20 tells us the answer is scribes and Pharisees. Number 4, what should you do to your right eye if it makes you stumble? Cover it, wash it, or tear it out? Matthew 5, verse 29 tells us the answer is tear it out. Ooh, man, that sounds painful. Number 5, if you remember a friend has something against you, what should you do? Leave the issue alone, go to them and be reconciled, or wait for them to come to you? Matthew 5, verse 23 through 24 tells us the answer is to go to them and to be reconciled. Even though some other people would probably prefer the other choices, that's not what the Bible teaches. Our final bonus question is this. Reconciliation should take place before you do what? Reconciliation should take place before you do what? Matthew 5, verses 23 through 24 tells us to present your offering at the altar. Well, I hope you did well. I think most of these questions were fairly easy. Don't know if you'll get them all right, but I bet you probably do well this time around. Let me know down in the comments how you did. Have a great day.